The little prince isn't from Earth. He comes from a tiny planet no bigger than a house, called asteroid B612. On his planet, he spends his time pulling up baobab trees and caring for a very special rose. A rose he loves, but doesn't always understand. The Little Prince. A story for the heart. Once, in the middle of a vast desert, a pilot crash-landed his plane. With no one around for miles, he was surprised when a small voice woke him. "Please, draw me a sheep." That was how he met the Little Prince, a golden-haired boy with curious eyes and a quiet voice. The pilot soon learned the boy came from far away, from a tiny planet no bigger than a house. It was called asteroid B612. On his little world, the Little Prince cared for volcanoes, pulled up baobab sprouts, and watched sunsets whenever he was sad. But most important of all, he cared for a rose, a beautiful, proud flower who demanded a lot, but secretly loved him. They had misunderstood each other, and so, with a heavy heart, curious and longing to understand life, the Little Prince left his tiny home planet, asteroid B612, and began a journey across the universe. He wanted to learn more about the world, about people, and about the strange behavior of grown-ups. On each new planet, he met a single adult, each one more puzzling than the last. A king who believed he ruled everything, even the stars, though he had no subjects. He gave orders that made no sense, just to feel powerful. A vain man who craved praise all day long. "Clap your hands," he shouted, just to feel important, even though no one else was there. A drunkard who drank to forget that he was ashamed of drinking. A businessman who spent all his time counting stars, claiming to own them, but he never looked up to admire their light. A lamplighter stuck in a never-ending routine, lighting and extinguishing a lamp every minute, too busy to think, rest, or dream. A geographer who wrote about faraway places, but never explored them himself. He waited for others to tell him about the world. Through these strange encounters, the Little Prince began to see a pattern. Most grown-ups are trapped in meaningless things, chasing power, praise, possessions, or habits. They had forgotten what really matters. Eventually, the Little Prince arrived on Earth. There, in a garden full of roses, he felt heartbroken. His rose wasn't unique after all. There were so many just like her. But then he met a fox. The fox taught him something beautiful. You become responsible forever for what you have tamed. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. In that moment, the Little Prince understood. His rose was special, not because she was the only one, but because he had loved her, listened to her, and cared for her. In the desert, under the blazing sun and the endless sky, the Little Prince and the pilot formed a quiet, tender friendship. Every day, while the pilot worked to repair his plane, the Little Prince sat nearby, drawing in the sand, asking questions, or simply watching the sky. He told stories of his rose, of her beauty and pride, of how she would sometimes demand attention, but always filled his heart with warmth. He spoke of distant planets, of foolish grown-ups, and of the gentle fox who taught him what it means to love. The pilot, a grown man who had long forgotten how to dream, began to see the world differently. He started to listen with his heart, to wonder again, to imagine again. The boy's laughter, light and bright like the sound of bells, echoed in the pilot's soul. In that vast desert, the little prince reminded him of something he had lost long ago, the joy of seeing the world through a child's eyes. But time was passing. The little prince had been on earth too long. He missed his rose, not just her soft petals or her proud voice. He missed the way he had come to understand her. He missed the feeling of responsibility, of love, of knowing he belonged somewhere. He knew now that what made his rose special wasn't her appearance. It was the time he had given her, the care he had shown her, and the bond they had formed. His heart ached to return to her, but there was no spaceship, no road back to his little planet. Then came the snake, silent, coiled, and mysterious. He had met the little prince once before, and now he returned, not as a threat, but as a quiet guide. The snake could help the boy return home, not through machines or maps, but through something deeper. The little prince understood what had to happen. He wasn't afraid, not really. He told the pilot gently, "It will look like I'm dying, but don't be sad. My body is too heavy to take with me. I will leave it behind, like an old shell. But you will know, I'm not gone. I'll be watching you from the stars." That night, under the quiet desert sky, the little prince let the snake's bite carry him beyond what eyes can see, not into death, but into return, into love, into the place where hearts live forever. The next morning, the pilot couldn't find the boy's body. Only the sound of wind, only silence, only the stars above. But from that day on, whenever he looked at the night sky, he smiled. Because somewhere out there, the little prince was back with his rose, laughing, caring, and watching the sunsets one by one. And if you ever look up at the stars and feel a quiet joy, as if someone you love is laughing among them, maybe the little prince is laughing with you too.